Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Imagine your perfect workday, okay? So let's all close our eyes. Close your eyes, yes. Imagine it's the start of your day. And you've got your coffee and you are feeling great. And you look at your to-do list, everything is going to go smoothly today, okay? Now, imagine how you feel at the end of the day. You did everything you planned, and you have this sense of accomplishment. Feels pretty good, right? Hold on to that feeling for a moment, and now open your eyes. How often does everything goes exactly as you planned? Probably not as often as you would like to, right? And we all start our days with the best intentions, but how many times have you thought a meeting would be quick and it takes an hour? Or you thought, oh, this design tweak will take just a few minutes and it takes way longer, right? Or these are everyday traps we fall into due to our miscalculations. And these everyday traps, they may seem small, but they can quickly snowball to major problems, leading to huge problems, right? So let's take a look at real-life examples. We have the Sydney Opera House. Okay, it was supposed to be a 4-year construction project, and it took up 14 years. And it was planned to cost $7 million, but it ended up costing more than $100 million, all because the implementation was hugely underestimated. Now, consider the high-tech baggage system at the Heathrow Airport. Okay? It was expected to revolutionize one of the world's busiest airports. But due to unrealistic timelines, it ended up causing massive delays and the chaos on the launch day. The thing is, stuff goes off track all the time. Whether you are building something physical or something digital, like a software project, miscalculations, they just happen. And it's a reality in both the real world and in our digital work. We all need to deal with it. And it's part of life. And it's called the planning fallacy. But in this talk, I'm not going to deep dive on what the planning fallacy is. Actually, I'm going to share why UX research plans often don't turn out as expected, and more importantly, what we can do to stay on track. And a big part of that involves balancing human oversight and AI in our research process. But before we jump in, let me just acknowledge the other author of this talk who couldn't be here today. Andrea Mesquita is a product experience manager, and I'm a lead UX researcher. And we both work at Outsystems, which is a low-code development platform. And one of our goals at the company is to empower UX researchers to conduct solid research. And recently, we noticed that many were struggling with their UX research plans. And their plans often, they fell short. And we are researchers, so instead of just putting a Band-Aid on the problem, we dug deeper to really understand what was causing it. And we learned that one of the main reasons plans fail is because we often have too optimistic expectations about what AI can achieve. In fast-paced environments like SAFe, what we usually call agile, where speed is everything, we often think as AI that it will magically accelerate our work, right? For example, once I used an AI scheduling tool that was supposed to make my life easier, but instead it automatically moved meetings around and placed them during my best focus hours in the morning. So I'm a morning person, okay? So it turned out to be more trouble than doing it manually. This is a common problem with many AI tools. They are designed to streamline tasks, but they often overlook human needs. Don't get me wrong, okay? From my experience as a UX researcher, I've seen how AI can help. It's useful to initially grasp the problem at hand, or summarizing sessions, or recruiting participants, and much more. This is why AI tools are becoming very popular in UX research. However, this reliance comes with risks. The reliance in AI comes with risks. For example, recently, we tried a tool that was supposed to help us cluster data and make sense of it. And as you can see here, we tried to do thematic clustering automatically. But it didn't work as well as we expected, because the clusters created by AI were kind of useless for our research goal. In fact, AI tools aren't mature enough, at least yet, to handle this complex analysis. And humans are still better at connecting the dots and understanding these nuances. So we revised what AI did, and we realized that we had to do the thematic analysis the traditional way. Okay? So this is, we manually identified the patterns, like you can see these clusters in this image. Nevertheless, once the information was properly clustered by us, humans, the AI was very, very useful to quickly generating the summaries of each cluster. The thing is, when a company adopts an AI tool, management often expects that it to speed up everything right away, right? But it puts extra pressure on researchers to get more done in less time. Instead of allowing research to adapt as new information comes in, we often feel stuck with a rigid plan. For example, when we first started using an AI-powered transcription tool, it did speed up our work, but not as much as we had hoped. Of course, it was pretty funny reading these ridiculous mistranscriptions, and we laugh a lot. And especially when the tool transcribes voices in Portuguese, I'm Portuguese, by the way, or people that are speaking in English in a non-native language, which is very common in our work. So as you can see, we still had to spend a lot of time correcting these errors. And it wasn't part of our plan. Okay? So it gets even more challenging when the AI doesn't work as expected. And we were forced to make adjustments while still trying to meet these tight deadlines. So this lack of flexibility can lead to stress because there's no room to adapt to new discoveries. On the other hand, a flexible approach would let us adjust as we learn, leading to better results. And like with any other tool, integrating AI-powered tools into our workflows, it takes time, right? There's always this learning curve, and until you are fully comfortable with the tools, they might slow you down until they actually speed things up. So how can we overcome these challenges? First, we need to acknowledge that we often have inflated expectations of AI. Because AI produces results so quickly, it can seem almost magical, right? So this can lead to a sense of wonder or even over-reliance, treating AI like it was something mystical, with greater capabilities that it actually has. But let's be clear, okay? AI isn't a magic solution to our problems. It's just a tool. And the AI is like any appliance. For example, think of an oven, okay? Imagine coming home and open your oven and you find a delicious cake inside. And since we are in Berlin, it's a Berliner or Krapfen, I don't know how to, to say that. It's a Berliner, okay? And you wouldn't think the oven magically created it, right? Someone had to put the ingredients and perhaps even set up the temperature, and the oven just did the heating. Similarly, AI doesn't magically produce results. It needs the right input, proper settings, and human guidance to be effective. So, AI is not self-sufficient. AI is not 100% autonomous. In UX research, AI is like an intern. It's promising but needs supervision. Just as we guide an intern, we need to guide AI, setting boundaries to keep it on track. So, in a nutshell, the real challenge here is finding the right balance between using AI to enhance our research and maintaining the human oversight that keeps it accurate and truly user-focused. So, let's explore how we can achieve that balance. First, combine AI and human expertise. In user research, it is essential to leverage both AI and human skills. AI excels at quickly processing data and handling repetitive tasks. However, humans are necessary to understand the deeper meaning and consider the context and make smart decisions. While AI handles the heavy data work, human researchers, they should focus on interpreting the results and guiding the research. By combining AI efficiency and human insight, you achieve better, more reliable research outcomes. Second, use AI for what it does best. Let AI take care of the data-heavy tasks, okay? This saves time for us to focus on more complex tasks, like developing new research strategies or solving unexpected problems. And remember to double-check, again, double-check AI outputs. Always review AI results to catch any mistakes and biases. Third, balance speed and quality. AI can speed up research, but it's important not to sacrifice quality in the process. Okay? As a human researcher, it's your responsibility to stay accurate even when working faster. Regularly update AI systems with new data to keep them effective. And again, be mindful to avoid over-reliance on AI. Use AI to enhance the quality of your research, not just to speed it up. However, UX research plans often fail not only because AI is becoming part of our work. Let's see the next reasons. Yes, we have too optimistic expectations about what AI can do, but there are other key reasons. Another reason plans often fail is because people don't fully understand the problem they are dealing with. In fast-paced environments where speed is critical, is the priority, critical details, they can get overlooked. This is especially risky in UX research, where grasping the problem's complexity is crucial. So researchers, they often jump into planning without spending enough time to really understand the problem, which leads to underestimating its magnitude and complexity. And this happens especially when starting research on a very new topic. But it's not just about the time constraints. Assumptions can also be a big issue. Researchers might think that they understand the problem based on surface-level information and assume it's simpler than it actually is. Also, overconfidence can be an issue. Researchers might overestimate their expertise. So, how can we overcome these challenges? Well, to understand the problem at hand, it's important to start with brief research before planning. And this could be just quick desk research and conversations with internal stakeholders. And having these honest conversations with them help you gain the full picture, including the struggles and challenges related with the research topic, but also some teams dynamics and any issues with the research participants. So this honesty is very important. Also, gaining this context is crucial because it clarifies the true nature of the problem before we dig in. Okay? We need to be aware also of assumptions and overconfidence to avoid them. And we can do this by regularly seeking feedback from others. Now, let's talk about the third main reasons for plans to fail. Psychologists, they say that our brains tend to be naturally optimistic. So people, they anticipate that we will finish tasks a lot earlier than they actually do. So I think it will take just a few seconds. And when planning, then people, they rely on gut feelings. They even disregard past experiences and deadlines. So one of the things that people disregard are these unforeseen events, like a surprise meteorite strike. Oh, these meteorites. Often there are unexpected challenges in priorities or additional requests from stakeholders that weren't initially part of the plan, right? So, and also in daily life, people often think in terms of time rather than effort. And it can lead to incorrect estimates because the focus is on how long something will take instead of the effort needed. So one of the reasons plans fail is because team members, they lack of accurate estimation skills. And this problem is made worse by the lack of a universal measurement system. Teams, they have tried different ways of measurement, but none of them fully work in real life or across different teams. So we end up having different teams using different measurement systems, which makes hard to measure these collaboration efforts when these teams work together. So now let's look how we can deal with these challenges. First, we need to acknowledge that our brains tend to be overly optimistic. So it's important to keep this bias in mind and make an effort to manage it. And to avoid taking shortcuts, it's important to break the research process into smaller, manageable pieces. And this is like in Agile, where we break the project into epics, user stories, and tasks. So basically, slicing the elephant into pieces. And breaking down these large projects into smaller pieces helps prevent delays and keeps everything on track. Also, we need to be prepared for unforeseen events by adding a buffer to our plans. This means allocating time to handle unknowns and dependencies. Also, all team members, not just management, should receive training on gaining effective estimation skills. This is important because both individual contributors and management are involved in user research, and both need to create their own research plans to perform research, right? So then, because we all have cognitive bias, it's important not to rely only on our own perception when planning. Psychologists suggest that asking others' opinions can help reduce this bias. And this is similar to a Scrum meeting, where team members discuss and agree on the effort needed for a task with the help of a Scrum Master. Sometimes, the interesting thing here is that the other opinion can also come from a tool. And at Outsystems, we noticed that because of all this stuff that I already mentioned before, many UXers, they were struggling to properly plan their user research. So after conducting some internal research and learning about all these problems, we developed the UX Research Calculator. And this is an internal tool designed to help with task and effort planning. And it's something that you can replicate and incorporate in your own workflows. Let me quickly explain to you how we did it. First, we worked with our internal psychologists to better understand the problem. Then we gathered all our UX researchers and mapped every task involved in each research method. Using our combined experience, we estimated the effort required for each task and agreed on those estimates. We also accounted for waiting times. For example, how long it usually takes for participants to schedule a meeting with us after receiving an invitation. Like at Outsystems, we know it takes way more time to recruit business participants than developers for our studies. So we identified the average time required for each participant profile. Next, we teamed up with a developer who quickly built the app using our low-code Outsystems platform, of course, because we are from Outsystems. But you can create a similar calculator using a spreadsheet or another tool. Here, as you can see, is already a screenshot from the calculator. The person selects the research method, then the target audience, then indicates the number of research participants and the time available for them to complete the research. Afterwards, the person inputs the percentage of non-focused work because we all have other responsibilities, right? We have one-on-ones and we have a bunch of meetings, we have the reviews, we have many things. And it calculates the total focused work time required and shows if the person has enough dedicated time to complete the research or not. The tool provides detailed breakdown by tasks with the indication of the time needed for each subtask and indication of the waiting times. And people can download all this information in a spreadsheet format. Okay? So, in a nutshell, this UX research calculator helps to plan the user research because, first, is based in past experience from multiple researchers in our work context. Then, it decomposes the process into smaller pieces, smaller tasks, and indicates the time needed to complete each task and accounts for wiggle room. Several of my UX colleagues have already mentioned that it helped them do better planning, and now it's also gaining traction from the development team. Developers also want something similar to help them too. Now, you might be thinking, didn't we just say people should think in terms of effort and not time? Yeah? But here we are using time in our calculator. And you're right. Ideally, we would measure effort. But we had to start with time because our teams aren't yet fully mature in estimation skills. So we needed something that would work across multiple teams, and time is a universal metric everyone can relate to. So we know the theory, but in practice, they aren't perfect. And in the next version of the UX Research Calculator, our goal is to shift from measuring time to measuring effort. You know, progress happens step by step. And so, when creating your own tool, just remember, it's all about taking one step at a time. Also, in future updates to our calculator, we want to add AI to help track the effort required for tasks. As we use more and more AI tools, the effort involved in tasks, it's changing. Some tasks are even becoming automated, but new tasks are also coming up, like checking the work done by AI was a task that we previously didn't have. So adding AI to the calculator will help us adjust to these new ways of working, these new ways of doing research. But we didn't yet figure it out how to do that. Maybe we can present the updated version and how we did that with AI, maybe in the next hatch, we don't know. So just to wrap up, the key takeaways are UX research plans often don't turn out as expected because we tend to expect too much from AI. We don't always fully understand the problem at hand, and our brains are naturally optimistic. So what can we do? Use AI to handle data, but always combine it with human judgment. For example, let AI take care of the data-heavy tasks, like analyzing past projects for you to quickly gain context and understanding the problem at hand before planning. When planning research, use AI to help list out all the tasks and subtasks and estimate the effort needed for each task. This saves time for you, the human researcher, to focus more on more complex tasks. Second, stay flexible. Keep your data updated and focus on quality over speed. Again, focus on quality over speed. Third, remember, balance is key to effective and reliable user research. But before we conclude, I want just to give a quick shout out to the folks who helped with this work. And they didn't just contribute to the research on today's topics, but they were also key in creating and promoting the tool internally, the tool that we talked about. And we named this tool internally as the UX Research Pocket Calculator, inspired by the Kraftwerk song, Pocket Calculator. And because this band explored the relationship between humans and machines, but also because, let's be honest, the song is quite catchy, so it worked very well internally, everybody. Yay. So thank you very much.